All right, fantastic. We're on. So for those that don't know me, I'm Dr. Brandon and I'm a wellness expert. And tonight we're going to help you overcome pandemic neck pain. See, the pandemic that we're in right now has led to another pandemic that was already a pandemic before this pandemic got started. And now it's like adding gasoline to the fire with this problem here. So we're going to cover a lot of great information and some powerful information tonight to help you on your journey, to help you discover the most powerful, most effective, and most natural ways for overcoming neck pain. And when I say neck pain, this could also mean getting up into the head for headaches. It could be getting into the shoulders, could be going down the arms, numbness and tingling in the hands here. But right now, let's talk about a reality of what's going on. And I just want to remind everybody also is we'll be on here for about the next 55 minutes. And my clients who get the most out of these talks that I found, been doing these in Northern Virginia for now over 12 years, the clients and the people who get the most out of these talks are the ones who engage. So feel free to raise your hand on the webinar, leave a comment or two, take notes. It's just like when you go to the gym, if person A is the one doing the work that's lifting, panting, sweating, they're the ones that are going to get the results rather than person B that's over in the corner socializing. So you set aside valuable time in your life. So make sure that you get the most out of this webinar by engaging. And at the end, we're going to get to some of the most popular exercises that Dr. Travis and I recommend to help you overcome pandemic neck pain. But let's talk about the current pandemic, COVID. COVID stressed the system, right? So if you ever want to know how well a system is working, stress the system. And unfortunately, with the COVID situation, it's revealed a lot of truths that were already out there. The truth that Americans are not healthy. The truth that the world population is not healthy today. COVID has stressed the system and it's exposed us. And there's a gap out there. And there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of conflicting data that you see in the media and with medicine and the health experts out there and the pharmaceutical companies. And it's, who do you believe today? Who's telling the truth when it comes to this? But there's been some compelling data that's been coming out of this and research that's shown us that COVID is really contagious to everybody, but it's dangerous to a select population. Do you know who that population is? It's called the immunocompromised. You see, the research is very compelling coming around from the world that showing people that are hospitalized with COVID had underlying chronic conditions, and at least one chronic condition in almost 95% of the population 65 and above. And these are the things that are happening that go along with underlying health conditions: hypertension, diabetes, hyperlipidemia, coronary artery disease, renal disease, dementia, COPD, cancer, AFib, and heart failure. And these stats and more data are backing this up, and it's pointing in the direction that there's a underlying health issue surrounding people around the globe that has exposed them to this virus, and it will determine whether or not you become symptomatic, whether or not you go to the hospital, the ICU, or even if you're putting yourself at risk for something even worse. So, but we know what all this is. It's a series of conditions known as metabolic syndrome. This is a lifestyle disorder. And the metabolic syndrome includes conditions like increased blood pressure, high blood sugar, excessive body fat around the waist, including sarcopenia, which is a loss of muscle mass, abnormal cholesterol and triglyceride levels. This is a chronic lifestyle disease plaguing Americans today. And what COVID has done is it stressed the system, has shifted this chronic lifestyle disorder into an acute crisis. And those that have a compromised immune system are the ones that are most exposed today. And so we're going to tie this into how habituated lifestyle habits are driving our health outcomes today that can be exposing you to bigger problems on the horizon, even beyond neck pain. So the question that I have for you tonight is, are we masking the real problem? We are wearing these masks to help prevent us from getting sick, okay? This is why it's been recommended to wear those masks. But what we forgot was we were already sick as a population. So the question is, are we masking the real problem? And when it comes to overcoming pandemic neck pain, if you don't get to the root, you can't change the fruit. If you don't change your behaviors, you're going to get the same outcomes you've been getting. And I know you're here tonight because you're looking for a change. You're looking to get an edge. So if you're a current client, you're looking to find the start doing and the stop doing list outside of this office. So you're not undoing all the great work that we're doing in the office. And if you're joining us for the first time, you're seeking a solution that nobody's been able to provide up until this point. You see, after spending $2+ trillion a year, that's about 15% of our gross domestic product on healthcare. The best that we come up with at this point is stay at home and wash your hands, no hugging and high fives, and hope and pray. And I know what you're thinking after spending all that money, that this is the best that we've come up with, that if you're like me, this is totally unacceptable. And you're probably thinking, WTF. I know that's what you're thinking. You're thinking, WTF, where's the focus? You see, we must shift the focus of the conversation on the strength of the virus, which we have absolutely zero control over, to the strength of the host, which we have a lot of control over. That's our daily lifestyle habits. And we're going to talk more about best practices of things to do and things to stop doing on the outside of this office. So we're going to talk about the third tier of the healthcare system. First, we're going to dive into the first tier, is the treatment of disease. This is modern medicine today. And the goal here is simple, is to help keep people from dying. That is the treatment of disease, to manage conditions, okay? The next is prevention of disease. Prevention of disease is what we kind of already talked about. Wash your hands, no hugs or high fives. This would be social distancing, wearing a mask, those type of things. And while treatment of disease and prevention of disease is appropriate and definitely necessary in the specific situations, but neither of them promote the health of the organism. And this is our third tier healthcare. What we focus on here at Pure Chiropractic is our focus is the promotion of health. What can we do to promote health and healing from within and to optimize it? Because most people think that sickness, being sick and healthy, is like a toggle switch. It's kind of like this, right? Is where one moment you're healthy and the next moment you're sick. And so maybe Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're healthy, and then bam, Monday, you're sick. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're symptomatic, and then Thursday, you're healthy again. But the truth is that it's more like people are toggling between sick and not sick, and few get to the point of high-level health and wellness. And there's a big difference between not sick and not symptomatic and health. And most people are toggling between not sick and then health, not sick and sick, going back and forth there. This is where the immunocompromised live. The immunocompromised toggle between sick and not sick, and they're not at high level health and wellness. They just may not be symptomatic or diagnosed yet. So the definition of insanity, this guy right here, Dr. Einstein, he is a smart guy, and he said insanity was doing the exact same thing over and over and over and expecting different results. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. So we're going to dive in now to overcoming pandemic neck pain and what you can be doing outside of this office to help drive better health outcomes when you're in the office and outside of the office. So we're going to talk about a major crisis here today. It's a pandemic, are these cell phones. And it's a condition called tech neck. And most people don't see or can relate how sitting and looking on a screen, whether it's your cell phone, whether it is a computer screen, whether you're reading or so on and so forth, when you're looking down for an extended period of time, like this, you know who you are. When you're looking down for an extended period of time, is that all the pressure that it's causing is a condition known as tech neck. And tech neck can lead to things such as chronic neck pain, nerve problems, and even herniated or bulging discs. And we like to say, don't let your spine get on your nerves. And we literally mean that because this tech neck phenomenon is creating chronic issues in people. And it's only been worsened with the COVID pandemic. Think about it. How is this impacting your lifestyle? We know that modern life is unnaturally stressful. By a show of hands, is your life more stressful this year than last year? Raise your hand if that is true for you. Now, when I ask this question to our clients in the office, usually I see both arms going up and I typically see a leg going up too. Modern life's unnaturally stressful. It's more stressful even this year. And people are, let's see, in my world, how this is happening and shaping is that my wife is working from home. She is working remotely. And then we have both of our children, Calista's in 5th grade and Kyson's in 2nd, and they're doing virtual learning. And so my wife has one eye on work, one eye on the kids, and the kids are learning from home, away from their friends. It's a major shift in sitting more, moving less. How's this showing up in your life? I have my clients now that talk about that they're sitting more, they're watching the news more, they're stressed out more than ever before, they're sitting in bed, watching these things from a cell phone device or a laptop, they're doing work from the sofa, they're laying in bed doing work, so on and so forth. And this can lead to neck problems. It could be neck pain, stiffness and tightness, where you're feeling like you're needing a massage, a lost range of motion where these joints feel stiff, like you're the tin man or tin woman, where you need some oil in the joints. It's leading to degeneration and arthritic conditions, leading to popping and cracking, like a gravelly type sound in the neck. Can lead to upper extremity issues like shoulder, upper arm, forearm, elbow, wrist problems like carpal tunnel, even numbness and tingling all the way in the hands, and of course, creating headaches. Tension headaches in the back of the head, migraines, sinus headaches, so on and so forth. Remember, your body is smart, right? Your body's smart and it wants to be healthy. When we talk about body signals are the symptoms in the body. Your body is screaming and whispering these signs to you. We call them in the office body signals. And so it's kind of like a smoke detector. And if the smoke detector is going off, do you think it's smart to go see why it's going off in the middle of the night? Or just to go take the batteries out of it so you and the family can sleep? Yeah, you're exactly right. You want to go find out what's causing that sound. The body signal is the symptom of the underlying root issue. And our goal in our office is to find what the root cause of your problem is and why your body has this body signal in the first place. It's kind of like the tip of this iceberg. The tip of the iceberg is the symptom your body is expressing. And the underneath the surface of the water is the root problem. And through objective testing and doing consultations and histories in our office, this is what we're seeking, the root cause of your problem. Now, does anybody know this? I learned this from somebody about the iceberg. And what I understand is that if you were very efficient at chipping away at the top, the tip of the iceberg above the surface of the water, do you know what would happen down the road? If you guess that the tip of the iceberg would come back, you're exactly right. And underneath the water, the bottom of the iceberg would grow bigger. So my question is, are you listening to the symptoms of your body? Are you listening to the whispers before you hear the screams? This is what symptoms are really saying about your health here. This is a continuum of the illness-wellness cycle. And I want you to place yourself here on a scale of high-level wellness is +10, the neutral point is 0, and premature death is -10, all the way there. So -10, 0, +10. I want you to rank yourself. Where are you on this illness-wellness continuum? And I want you to look back at what direction you're going. Are you moving towards high-level wellness, or are you slipping and losing momentum and going towards more of the signs of the body, which would be lost range of motion, and more of the symptoms such as stiffness and pain, numbness, and tingling? Or are you becoming disabled in some area of your life where things that you need to do, you're no longer able to do, or things that you want or love to do, you're no longer able to do? Are you working and living around your problem? So we know that modern life is unnaturally stressful, and symptoms will tell us what direction that you're headed in. Well, our recommendations are always going to be based on two things: our objective findings and then your goals, to help you move towards high-level wellness. Because you think that today is the best day to take care of your health, right? We're not going to get today back. So every day we want to make deposits towards our health and wellness so we gain momentum. Because a lot of people, if they're heading in the wrong direction, the first thing when they come into our office is we're just trying to slow down the momentum of moving in the wrong direction towards premature death. And then the next step is stop, and then to start gaining momentum towards high-level wellness. This all takes time. And there's a big difference between feeling well and functioning well. In fact, function in your body tells us more about your health than feeling. Because isn't it true that you could feel good but not be healthy? Let's take dentistry for an example. Is it possible that your teeth could feel fine, but you have an underlying root problem? Absolutely. They call that a cavity. So you can start, the dentist can pick up decay in your tooth long before you start to have a pain or a symptom. How about heart pain? Is heart pain an early or a late sign of a problem? If you said a late sign of a problem, you're right. Because by the time you have heart pain, it means there's been an underlying problem brewing for many years. And then early signs of cancer, there are none. It usually takes 6, 7, 8 years of the cancer building behind the scenes before you become symptomatic. So we can't just go by how we feel. Health is more than how we feel. Health is a lot about how we're functioning. There's 3 parts of your nervous system. There's the motor nerves, there's the autonomic nerves, and the sensory nerves. Well, the sensory nerves only make up 10% of your nervous system. Those are those pain nerves. So it's quite possible the underlying root problem is building like the bottom of the iceberg, and you not even feel it until one day your body can't adapt anymore, and eventually you become symptomatic. But you have nerves that go to muscles that could cause weakness, spasms, fatigue, and tightness. And then you have nerves that control automatically the organ systems of the body, which includes your immune system. Remember who we said COVID was most dangerous to? Was the immunocompromised. So if your autonomic nervous system is stressed, your immune system is going to be stressed and compromised, making you more vulnerable and susceptible to viruses, bacteria, those type of things. Then it can affect your energy levels, digestion, and then breathing. So the better premise that we talk about it in our office is that healthy is normal, sick is abnormal. Unfortunately, sick has become the new normal. COVID exposed us. Your body is smart, it's intelligent, it knows and wants to be healthy. So here's a question that I have for you is that what system in the body is responsible for handling germs and viruses and bacteria? Any guesses? If you guessed it's your immune system, you're exactly right. What system in your body is responsible for nutrition and turning food into energy and building blocks for your body? Do you know what system that is? That would be your digestive system, exactly. What system is responsible for making babies? That's right, it's your reproductive system. What system is responsible for keeping you upright, ambulatory, walking, and fighting gravity? If you're thinking that's your musculoskeletal system, right on, great job. And lastly, what system in your body is responsible for helping your body adapt to stress? Any idea? Any takers out there? Okay, it's your nervous system. Your nervous system is responsible for adapting and coping to the stress and the demands that you're under. Your nervous system is the master control system. It controls and coordinates all the other organ systems in the body. What protects your nervous system? Your spine is your suit of armor. And as we've already talked about, modern life is unnaturally stressful. And when we talk about stress, stress is what you think, toxins and traumas. So thoughts, toxins, and traumas are different categories here. And remember, what you believe about your health drives your habits and behaviors. And what drives your outcomes are your behaviors and your actions that you take. So if you want different outcomes in your life, specifically when it comes to your health, we must change our beliefs about what we think about health. That'll help drive our habits and behaviors every single day to drive better health outcomes. So as we get into physical traumas, let's talk about the macro traumas. The example of macro traumas would be slip and fall injuries. This would be sports injuries. And these things can happen even decades prior. And then we could have car accidents. It only takes 5 miles an hour of impact to cause problems in your spine. And if you don't get these things taken care of immediately, then it can develop into bigger problems down the road. And so this can all lead to neck pain, upper back pain, headaches, shoulder, upper arm pain. But this is the one that's more prevalent today. What I want to spend some more time on is the micro traumas. This is the tech neck. Just sitting 3 hours a day does the exact same thing to your spine as what sugar does to your teeth. And an example I love to use in this area is here. I want you to picture picking up a 10-pound dumbbell. And if you were to pick up a 10-pound dumbbell off of the floor, and let's say you were to hold the dumbbell in position A, or you were to hold the dumbbell in position B, what position do you think you could hold it longer? Would it be position A or position B? What do you think? Now, Linda, I just want to say you're crushing it out there. So great job. Great job on all the organ systems, and you're exactly right. Position A. Great job. All right, so I saw the LOL right there, so I'm smiling with you. So great job on that. When you have your head over your shoulder, your head's about 10 pounds, it's easier to hold it here. But most of us live out here. And when our head goes forward, it makes a 10-pound head feel like 70 pounds to your spine. That has real consequences, even if you don't feel pain right away. So for every inch, 2 inch, it's an accumulative effect. And many people, when they come in, have posture goals and want to prevent looking like a grandparent over the years that you might have had in your family like this. So we want to prevent the shoulders rolling in, that hump on the back. This is only going to complicate spinal issues, cause quicker and more rapid breakdown of your suit of armor, your spine, which ultimately impacts your nervous system, which then leads to health problems and health conditions. And in chiropractic, it leads to a condition called subluxation. Go ahead and say that word with me, subluxation. Subluxation is a specific term used in chiropractic to describe a misaligned bone, a misaligned joint that starts to damage the soft tissue, the spinal disc, the ligaments, the tendons around the bone, and then ultimately leads to inflammation and nerve irritation. Then the muscles start to spasm. Let me ask you, is your body smart or stupid? You're right, it's smart. Now you might ask yourself, well, why does my body act stupid at times? Remember, I said your body acts stupid. I didn't say you were stupid, but your body can act stupid at times, and you're wondering, why isn't it working the way I expect it to? Well, there's always a root cause to it, and we can figure that out, and I want to teach you how to figure it out. But muscle spasm, do you know why your muscle spasms? Your muscle spasms because it detects an injured or weak, vulnerable joint. So the muscles are the primary pulleys and movers of the joint, but when the nerve gets irritated, is it a smart thing to immobilize the joint? It is actually, so that those movers, those muscles become like straps. It locks down the joint, so you're not moving. And then when the joint becomes stuck, you lose imbibition. And imbibition is the fluid going in and out of the disc. And it's the motion that helps with the hydration, the getting the toxins out, the nutrients into the disc, getting the blood flow there so that your spinal disc, which are the spacers in between your bones, can function well. Because when we start to lose the space in between our bones, that nerve hole becomes compromised. And then more likely the nerve to get irritated and inflamed. And then what happens is it stresses out your physiology and your body goes into a fight or flight stress response, and then ultimately leads to immunocompromised condition. So when we're under the stress response, which a lot of my clients come in, the fight or flight stress response, there's an adaptive physiology that occurs. What happens is your blood pressure goes up. You see, high blood pressure is high blood pressure normal? Is it? I guess it depends on the scenario. Is it normal for your blood pressure to go up when you exercise? The answer is yes. Is it normal for your blood pressure to go up when at rest? The answer is no, it's not. That's a stress response. Your heart rate goes up, muscle tone goes up, digestion goes down. Have you ever noticed that when you're under stress, your digestive system is a wreck? Either you don't feel like eating or you're eating everything in the house. That's a sure sign of stress. Your reproductive system goes down. Serotonin levels, which help with the happiness and sleep, they start to go down. Your sensory systems go up, so you're more likely to feel pain, anxiety, stress. Fear and anxiety go up. Your insulin sensitivity is impacted, therefore your blood sugar goes up. What do you call elevated blood sugar? Any ideas what that's called? Okay. Yep, the hypoglycemia. Yep, you're exactly right. When that's your blood sugar goes down, that's low blood sugar, but the high blood sugar is known as diabetes. Okay, so definitely when your insulin levels go all over the place, that's where you get those highs and lows there, Linda. That's where you go up and then you come crashing down, where it just seems like, oh, your energy is wiped out, your body spikes down, it shoots over on the other side there. Then you get decreased HDL, increased LDL, your cholesterol goes up, clotting factors go up. And then the next thing what happens is, oh boy, this sounds like a perfect storm for a heart attack and stroke. And then your immune system becomes compromised. This is the adaptive physiology when your body has a subluxation and the stress and downstream effects that it can cause. So remember, most people toggle between sick and not sick, and few reach ultimate health. This is the immunocompromised. And remember, COVID stressed the system. Let's focus on what you can do to strengthen your body, strengthen the host. That's what you have the influence over. So subluxation leads to nerve irritation. Like I said, don't let your spine get on your nerves. And this will impact the feeling and function part of the nervous system. You see, your nervous system is just like a switchboard here. A subluxation is like turning the switch off. Your brain sends signals through your brain stem and down your spinal cord, and it's protected by your skull, which is your helmet, and then your spinal column is your suit of armor. And anytime those bones get out of alignment, it'll impact wherever that nerve is trying to communicate. And if that nerve has any interference to it, it's not going to function properly. It'll lead to dysfunction or dis-ease. The role of us as a chiropractor is to check your spine and nervous system, locate where the power is turned off, and turn it back on like a switch with the chiropractic adjustment. So subluxations can lead to things like the shoulder, arm, and elbow issues, wrist, carpal tunnel, hand problems, and upper extremity issues. It doesn't have to just stay isolated to the neck, but this pandemic neck pain, it can spread to the head. It can lead to headaches, jaw-related issues, trouble sleeping, anxiety, nervousness, worry, upper back issues are all included in this also. You see, we take a look here, and what will happen is these subluxations cause nerve irritation and interference to your body's innate ability to heal and remain healthy. If you want to have a healthy body, you must have a healthy nervous system. If you want to have a healthy nervous system, you must have a healthy spine. And so when the spine is subluxated, it interferes with the communication of the nervous system to a specific tissue, organ, or organ system. And when there's that interference, your body is no longer healing and healthy at 100%. So simply as neck pain, this can relate to a C1 to C7 subluxation, T1 to T5. There's some of these upper back nerves that go right down the arm also. As we talked about here, the forward head posture can create conditions where then, think about it, the most common areas that we see degenerated are in the lower part of the neck, C5, 6, and 7. And the reason for this is you start to get this forward head posture, and a 10-pound head starts to feel 70 pounds to the spine. And you take a look at 45-degree angle, the head weighs 49 pounds. 60 degrees, 60 pounds. 70, around 70 pounds. Don't be like this person all the way to the right where their head fell off. Okay, they were looking at their cell phone for too long, and their head popped off. Okay, just kidding there. That won't happen, but don't let it happen to you. You get what I'm saying here. So I'd like to share a couple stories here. I want you to meet Donna and listen to her story and her experience here. Let's go back. Let's see.
Hello, my name is Donna. I was referred to Dr. Brennan by a friend of a friend, and I've been having severe stiffness of my neck and just no flexibility and heaviness in the neck area for about the last 2 years or something. And I thought that's just what happens when you get older. And so I didn't even think much of the chiropracticians, and I didn't even know much. But then I was referred here, and the very first visit actually relieved a lot of the stiffness and a lot of the lack of flexibility. And I was just like, wow, that's unexpected. And then I signed up for the course of 6 months that Dr. Brennan recommended to my specific case to help me with neck stiffness. And just literally from the very first appointment and onwards, I was feeling better and better and much better. And then by the end of 6 months, I was, like I've never had any issues. I was brand new. Like I've never felt like this. I didn't know I could, and I didn't know it was possible. And so I was so happy and so excited. I decided that I'm going to do the maintenance appointments now, so just that I never go back to that, state of stiffness and no flexibility again. So I'm just doing the maintenance now, and I'm very, very happy. And I would recommend Dr. Brennan's practice to anyone who has any kind of issues.
And that's so awesome. And we're so excited to be able to help Donna out there. And she'd been to a lot of doctors and nobody had been able to help. And she was referred into our office and we found subluxation, started adjusting her and unleashed that innate power on the inside to help with the health and healing. And so when people get results in the office, we always say, good job, doctor, you. It's your body that's doing the healing. We're just helping to facilitate it. Let's hear Jackie's story here.
Hi, I'm Jackie. I'm 27 years old and I first came to Chiropractic to treat pain from the car accident I was in 5 years ago. I've been living with pain to some degree every single day of my life since I was 22. And I'm happy to say that this is the first time I've ever known a pain-free day. There are a couple of things I really appreciate about the approach here. First is that it's evidence-based. So every patient that comes in is given x-rays and scans so that the doctors really know what to treat and where. And the treatment plans are designed to taper down and make sure you can have a pain-free life independently. As far as the quality of care, I really can't speak enough to what it means to me to have had a pain-free day ever. I thought that, I had really resigned to a lifetime of that, and I was accounting for it in my activities, but I really wasn't living to my full potential. And it's amazing to me how much that was affecting my quality of life. But now not only have I had a pain-free day, I've had pain-free weeks. So I cannot say enough. Thank you so much, Dr. O'Neill and the team at Pure Chiropractic. Highly recommend it here.
So awesome. Jackie was referred into the office and she's traveling a really long distance and, to get here. And, but we've been able to make it work and the results speak for themselves. And Simon, I apologize about the audio. I have it as high as I can on my side. I'm not sure if you're able to turn it up on your side. So I appreciate the feedback on that and we'll work on that for next time. Now, if we take a look here, tech neck contributes to all this breakdown and deterioration in the spine. So make no mistake about it, it's the hours, it's the cumulative, habituated habits that we have over time. And it's just like eating sugar and eating candy every single day and it like impacting in our teeth. And initially, we're not really going to notice any symptoms, but if we keep it there over time, eventually the body starts to whisper and eventually it starts to scream. So there are best practices. We're not going to get rid of the technology. We're not going to completely eliminate it, but we can learn to live with it and with some boundaries and to make it work for us and not the other way around. Because this tech neck is going to cause all these things that we talked about, the neck pain, the stiffness, tightness, lost range of motion, degeneration, arthritis, popping, cracking, gravelly sound in the neck, upper extremity issues, headaches even. So here's our 3-step approach to correct the cause of the problem is number 1, break the bad habits. So look, life is about progression, not perfection. Let me say that again, because I know many of you need to hear that. It's about progress, not perfection. It's not about being perfect, but it's about doing better. You see, this is the first webinar that I'm doing with a standing workstation. I mean, it's a desktop here. So when you come into the office, you can see how we modified this because I was finding that I began to sit too much, and I was starting to feel the impacts of sitting. It was like, whoa, time out here. I care about my health too much. We need to start shifting things. So we got a standing workstation. It sits right on my desk, so I'm able to stand up and be able to present to you. Not only do I feel better, but I have more energy, among other things. So you want to start minimizing the bad habits. And specifically, it's around the technology, and it's the sitting. So they have apps out there. You can track yourself and movement and how many steps you're getting. Standing workstation is fantastic. Minimize, you don't have to stand all day, but you can stand some of the day. And anytime you're standing, that means you're not sitting. So you're minimizing that. You still need to move. So standing in one place for all day is not an end all be all. You still need movement in your body. Your body needs the contraction of the musculature to move the blood, move the lymph fluid. So you still need movement, but it's better than sitting all day. Then we're going to talk about in just a moment, you will thrive longer exercises to be doing in between your chiropractic adjustments. So number one, we say break the bad habits. Number two, add specific exercises to help strengthen the muscles along your spine, to help your adjustments hold better and help those soft tissues heal up faster. And then number three is it's all about rhythmic chiropractic adjustments. Keeping your adjustments in rhythm allow Dr. Travis and myself to give you the best care possible, because each one of these adjustments are cumulative and they build over time. So sitting on a ball, I do like sitting on a ball. I think it's better than sitting in a chair. You know, we could go to just a very non-ergonomic chair. I've had some people tell me about their kitchen chairs and sitting too much at them, but an ergonomic chair would be a step up. I do like sitting on the ball, Simon, because you're able to swivel your hips left and right and move them back and forth, kind of like a plus sign, which then it'll add to imbibition in your lower spine joints, which that was, if you recall, the movement of the discs allows for better blood flow to the joints, the discs, the nerves, helping with the circulation there. And then also it's going to cause your upper body to fire those postural muscles. Usually what I'll see is that people will sit on the ball for too long. So you may want to build your tolerance, start with a half hour and a couple times throughout the day to an hour and see where you're at with that. But if you're sitting at a computer on the ball, what'll happen is a lot of times you don't have the proper supports underneath your elbow, and then your arms are hanging to the side, and then all of a sudden tightness in your shoulders. It can be a step up from just sitting because you can get a little bit of movement, but then if you can, try standing for some of the day. Great question. The next thing here is the tech neck, as we talked about earlier. It can lead even to herniated and bulging discs there. So these are the things that you want to be doing in between the visits to help offset the sitting throughout the day, the week, the months, the year. And consider this. Let's just say you sat 8 hours a day. That's common for people today. 8 hours a day. Let's say you did that 5 days a week. That's 40 hours of your week. You have 168 hours in 1 week. 40 hours of your week and you're sitting. So if you take sitting 40 hours a week times 50 weeks a year, boom, it's already at 2,000 hours a year that you're sitting. So we want to try to minimize that. All right, so here you go. Here's a list of exercise. Go ahead and stand up, get that blood flowing if you're not standing already. This is called YWLT. YWLT here. Okay, and I had an acronym for it, but we could always switch it, go YWTL. You will thrive longer. Forget what the other one was, but you will thrive longer. But either way, here are the exercises. Bring your arms up, make sure you're pointing your thumbs to the back, and make a Y, just like this. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be squeeze your shoulder blades back. So pretend that there is a pen or pencil right between your shoulder blades. Squeeze your shoulder blades back, and you want to hold this, each one of these positions, for 20 seconds there. So you're going to squeeze that back. That's the Y. Then you're going to bring in the W. So see the W right there? Get your elbows and arms in this position and squeeze your shoulder blades back. Hold it there for how long? You're right, 20 seconds. There's the W. Then if you go to the T, you're going to bring your arms directly out, squeeze those shoulder blades back. Hold that there for 20 seconds. And then the L, you're going to bring your shoulders down closer to your side. This is the lower portion. And then squeeze your shoulder blades back. You're going to hold each one of those positions for 20 seconds each and 1 round for every 2 hours of sitting. It's simple, okay? And a lot of things when it comes to health, your outcomes are driven by your behaviors and habits. And if you make this one thing a habit and you do it for 30 days, I want you to come back to me and report to me how your neck, upper back, arm, shoulder, headache, and how those areas are improving there. I'd love to hear from you. So 1 round every 2 hours. And so if you're sitting 8 hours a day, simple math, you're going to do this 4 times throughout the day. So you may want to leverage your technology in your cell phone by setting a reminder timer on your phones to remind you to get up and then move. Easy enough. So how do you know if you have subluxation? Well, it's very simple. We do objective testing in this office. Chiropractors are the only professionals trained to identify and locate and correct subluxations. So we use instrumentation, we use our hands in motion and static palpation, feeling along the spine, doing leg checks, our chiropractic analysis, visualization, and then x-rays. So if you're already a client, that's how we found subluxation in you. And you may be wondering about a family member at home you're thinking about that could benefit with chiropractic. This is how we can know if they have subluxation, is the next step is to get checked. So remember, the 3 steps to correct the cause: break those bad habits, add specific exercises, and chiropractic adjustments in rhythm and consistent. Let's hear Ron's success story. Okay, Simon, it looks like I could bring this up a little bit louder.
And I'm 31 years old. I met Dr. Brandon through the Patriot Project. I'm a disabled veteran. And before I came in here, I was a mess. I could barely walk. I couldn't carry groceries inside the house. There were times actually my wife had to carry me up the stairs. I was a mess. I came in here. I've seen some other chiropractors before, and Dr. Brandon, by far, he's been the best. He's been the greatest help, and I've really appreciated him in this office and what it is that they do. So now I'm at a place where I can get up, I can walk around, I can carry my kids, although I can't hold them for too long because I still have some issues, but I'm a lot better than where I was. And so I'm really grateful to him and his staff for how they brought me this far.
So awesome. So if you're out there and you've taken steps already to get in the office and get your spine and nervous system checked for subluxation, I congratulate you. Dr. Travis, myself, and the rest of the team are honored to take care of you, and we're excited to be helping you on your health and wellness journey. We're your health coach, right? So thank you for tuning in to this monthly's webinar, and each month we're going to continue to bring you great content to help educate you, because we find that the clients that get the best results, not only short-term but long-term, become understanders of what their problem is and become an active participant in their health and wellness journey. Remember, this is done with you, not done for you. But if you're out there and you want to get those results like Donna and Jackie and Ron had received, I invite you to come into the office and get checked. If you have a family member at home that you're wanting to get checked, it's a great opportunity. Now is there's no better time than now to come in and get checked. And then we can find out if you have subluxation, and based on our findings and what your goals are, we'll make a specific set of recommendations for your needs. You know, a wise doctor once told me is that procrastination is the thief of health. And we think that maybe it will just go away. Well, taking action today, one step forward, is the right action towards finding the root cause of your problem so you can get your life back. Get rid of that neck pain, get rid of the headaches, get rid of the shoulder and arm pain, and start doing the things you need to do, like work or school, and then get back to doing those things that you want to do and that you absolutely love to do. So if you're a guest on here or you have a family member that you would like to get checked, it's real simple. What I need you to do is go to purechiropractic.com/special. And this is our new patient special of the month. Stay tuned for December. December, we got an awesome month coming up. Next month, we're going to be the 12 days to a stress-free 2021. So we're super pumped about that. And our webinar and our special topic next month is how to survive holiday stress. So how to stay healthy through the holidays is our topic, and everyone can benefit from being on that one. So make sure you mark it on your calendar. We will be releasing the dates for that coming up. So stay tuned, whether it's your email, in the office, and on social media. Follow us there and stay informed on the latest happenings at Pure Chiropractic. And this webinar was recorded. So being here tonight, we will send you the recording out there. And if you need those specific exercises, we have a handout in the office that we can give you. And the final thing that I'll say is, may you and your family have a blessed Thanksgiving. 2020 has been unlike any year I have ever experienced, unprecedented in many ways. But despite everything that's going on, we always have something and someone to be grateful for. So I want you to be thinking about this time of year, all those things that you are grateful for, those things that you get to do that you don't have to do. And my encouragement is, if you want to know one other simple tip, here's a bonus tip for those that stayed on the webinar and watched this, is this: get a gratitude journal. If you don't have a gratitude journal, get one. If you don't have one, ask me for one. In fact, I'll give you one just for asking me and participating here. And we're going to reward your action for being here. You just ask for one, and one of our team members will give you one. Write down 5 things daily that you're grateful for. You can do this in the morning. You can do it before going to bed. It's a great way to relieve stress. And yes, have a happy, great Thanksgiving. Kosa, thanks so much for joining in. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you got 1 to 3 golden nuggets that you'll take away and start applying to your life immediately so you can help optimize your health outcomes. And remember, for you and your family's health and wellness, we've got your back. Go make it a great night and happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much. Simone, Simon, thank you so much. Great webinar as always. You're welcome, Linda. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. Have a great night. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much.